Hi reception children, it's Mr Yeardsley at school with today's story. Today's story is called The Bumble Bear and it's by Nadia Shireen. Not heard of a bumble bear before. Quite big compared to the bees, isn't he? Once there was a bear called Norman who loved honey. He really loved it. And he was always sad when it ran out. Got a sweet tooth, hasn't he? But getting hold of more honey was always a bit tricky. See what's happening. If only I could be a bee, he sighed. I could have as much honey as I liked. And then Norman had quite an amazing and brilliant idea. It was an ordinary morning at bee school. Hello, bees, said the queen who was in charge. We have a new bee at school today. Ooh, said the little bees. Everyone say hello. Who do you think it might be? Norman. Hello, said Norman. Ooh, said the little bees. Aren't you a bit big? Asked Amelia, who's rather a clever little bee. I'm a special bee, said Norman. I come from a land far away, called Giant Bee Land. Said Amelia. But then it was time for lessons to start. Bee School Daily Planner. Name, Norman. They began the day with some painting. Then Norman joined with buzzing practice before everyone settled down for a nap. The bees showed him all sorts of games during playtime, and Norman was brilliant at waggy dancing. And then it was time to go home. Bee school is amazing, thought Norman. He couldn't wait to come back the next day. The next morning was even better. Norman was very good at finding smelly flowers. He was so funny and friendly, the bees really liked him, and he always tried his best, even during flying lessons. Don't think he's very good at those. After lunch, the bees learned how to chase away anyone who came after their honey, like spiders, mice, toads, or bears. Amelia still felt there was something a bit odd about Norman. She tried to work out what it was. Gasp! Bears steal honey, smell bad, roar lots. Amelia told the other bees what she'd found out, but they didn't believe her. Of course Norman's a bee, they said. Just look at him. He is not a bee, and I shall prove it, said Amelia. She took Norman to the bees' secret honey store. Well, when he saw all that honey, Norman just couldn't help himself. Honey, 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 honey. After all, he really loved honey. See, Norman isn't a bee, he's a bear, said Amelia. What the jiggins, gasped all the little bears. Humph, said Norman. He was asked to leave bee school at once. Was he looking there? With Norman gone, things were very quiet at bee school. Norman was such a funny bee, sighed the bees. Norman was such a busy bee, sighed Amelia. Norman was a naughty bear, said the Queen, and bee school is no place for bears. But later that night, the bees heard a loud crash and a diabolical roar. Oh no, they cried, it's a bear! And this bear was big and nasty and trampled all over bee school. It grabbed the hive and started to shake it. The bees tumbled out in panic. They tried to chase the bird away, but it was just too big and too bad. But then, I wonder what's going to happen. A fearsome, buzzing beast burst through the trees. Bzzz! Eek! Squealed the big bear. It's a giant bee! And it ran away as fast as it could. The bees were saved, And Norman was a hero. They gave him a big pot of honey, and the Queen presented him with a special award. You definitely aren't a bee, said the Queen, but you are no ordinary bear. You are, I think, a Bumble Bear. Here he is, getting a special award. And Bumble Bears were definitely allowed to go back to bee school. It's fun to be at school, isn't it, with all your friends, learning and playing together. Glad we've got some children in school who are able to do that, critical workers and vulnerable people. But remember, those of you working at home, we can't wait to have you back. In the meantime, remember the school motto: you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. Keep smiling, everyone.